Hello everybody and welcome back to the Realm of Vasten, episode 49. 49, man, and we have another special episode. It's How to Build a Floating Island, episode 49. And this was another one that I did. It's entirely a time lapse. It's about, whatever, well, you probably know better than me, about 7-8 minutes long. And probably about, I don't know, like 16 hours maybe of doing this. A lot of it was live streamed, so you might have caught some of that, hopefully. You did, and you swung on by. If you're not subscribed with the little bell icon written, then you should do that, so you'll know whenever I go live on YouTube. It's always a good time, nice chance to hang out. And I've been recording a decent amount of time lapses because it's just so much sort of mind-numbing, busy work that I can do that. But I thought what we'd do today is we'd just talk through how I'm going about detailing this island. Like in a few episodes ago, I did the bottom half of the island. Now I'm doing the top half. Now I learned one time when I built a giant custom mountain, I learned and I made the whole thing flat on the top, and they built the castle on top of that. And it seems like a great idea until you realize that that's just not how mountains are, first. And secondly, it's very boring. So with this one, I didn't want to make that same mistake. So what I did is right from the very beginning, decide where the cascading waterfalls were going to be. And I didn't make the water cascade yet because I want to detail it all. But knowing where the water sort of is going to be is going to allow me to sort of contour the land around it and make the whole thing work a little bit. The other thing I do when I build generally, and this is when I build houses or when I build anything for the most part, but whenever I build just about anything, I build out of just one material. So this one I just did only stone, and then I'm going to come back, and I've already started some of this, where I come back and I put in some cobblestone, or some andesite, or some slabs and stairs, and lots of vegetation, all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I'm running into now is, in the end, with our texture pack, the brilliant Little Taste of Vasten done by our good friend Jeramy boy. He has the grass is purple in the end, which is brilliant and awesome. But I wanted the grass on this island to be green, and the reason being is because I wanted this island, lore-wise, storyline-wise, it came from the overworld, whereas the rest of this has been sort of created here in the end. The rest of the floating city. So, yeah, you can see sort of how I'm contouring this. I have kind of a rule of thumb about building that. I try to never have bigger than a 3x3 of the same material, the same depth. That's just a very general rule that I've talked about quite a lot about building. If people are ever looking for tips, that's one of the first things that I suggest is try to stick away from that. So even when doing these cliffs, I try to never go up more than a 3x3 steady together in a row. In addition to that, even whenever you're going up vertically, I try to not go up more than 5 or maybe 6 blocks in a straight line. Every once in a while you'll see I break that, which is fine because with some texturing and stuff, that's okay, but I try to generally keep that as a rule of thumb. I suspect once I really texture it in, I'll probably even add some blocks so I don't have more than 5 or 6 straight vertical line, because that's just not how nature is. The other thing I tried to incorporate a lot of here is a lot of overhangs. Overhangs I learned from my friend Whip, who you may know him as Whip, who's a great builder, a great YouTuber, and he does a lot of natural terrain, creating terrain that looks natural. And one of his big things, he has a lot of overhangs and cliffs. So that's something I really tried to do a lot of. Like, you'll see how I went in and then came out a lot, and that's because I'm just trying to get some of those overhangs that he does so well in his world. And I'm trying to steal a little bit of it and make some of it my own. And I've never done anything really like this before, so a lot of it was kind of a bit of a learning curve. You know, around the side of this, I kept it all flat. Hey, look, there's my YouTube, youtube.com/Fixxitt412. If you're not subscribed, you should do that. It's a lot of fun. I did put a path going the whole way around the side, the entire way around the bottom, sort of where the bottom of the half meets the top half, around the middle, the equator of the floating island, if you will. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted there to be a decent walkway, depending on where I put floating stuff out to the sides, where you can walk through the whole thing. Because I am thinking, you know, even though I haven't gotten into the building portion of this yet, as far as the actual building of houses and castle and stuff, I am thinking about that. I know that that's coming. So that's something that I really wanted to focus on, is where the castle is going to be, how it's going to be floating, where the walkways are going to be, all that kind of stuff. Also underneath, you can see right there, there's a kind of an underneath section that has a little flat area. I did a lot of those Well, no, I did a couple of those, and those are going to be also utilized for either buildings where they're big enough, and if they're not big enough, then that'll be a great place for maybe a little custom tree, or maybe a building that was like partially not ripped out, because the lore of this is this whole floating island was sort of ripped out due to a forbidden spell, and the forbidden spell it teleported this, causing a crater in the earth. So if you think about that, some buildings would be sort of on the outside of the crater, so I do want to have a couple buildings where they just sort of fall off the edge, and that might look a little weird unless you know the story, but assuming you know the story, I think it'll go really well. Boy, this was a fun build. This was each one of these, every time you see a little transition, that was either a late night recording session or a live stream, and it was a lot. It was a lot. This one, the part you were looking at right now, I decided that I wanted to go down a little bit. It's the only part of it that sort of leaves the equator area, and it's turned out to be very cool. It's going to be a little like lake nature spot. And the reason why I'm adding all the nature is because there's so much stone here that this could easily look very, very, very artificial, and I don't really want that. I want it to look like as if it used to be in the world and then was brought here to the void. So adding a lot of vegetation, a lot of lush, a lot of dangly green leaves and things like that falling off the edge is going to be really, really key. The water, I think, was a real stroke of inspiration. If I didn't have the water, I don't think that I would like how it is, thus far. Full disclosure, at the time I'm recording this voice overdub here, I have already built 2 of the buildings, and let me just tell you, the water is clutch. It turned out really well. Well, this is the last little segment I have, and just wrapping it up now. I can't believe, I just kind of can't believe that it's already done as far as the easiest part of it. Now comes the detailing. That's going to be a lot of stuff, but that'll come another day. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you next episode from Realm of Vasten. Bye, everybody.